What up, Vol Nation? Welcome back to episode 2 of season 3. Today's guest is none other than YSN, and you are now plugged in, the only podcast in Knoxville worth mentioning. Let's dive on in. So, you're a DJ for a radio station, but you're also an artist. You're a people person. Tell us a little bit, how did you get involved in radio DJing?
It's a very interesting story, actually. So it was probably like my freshman year of college. I put myself in a journalism class just, to fill up credit hours. And for one of our projects, we had to work with one of the campus media outlets, so we got the Daily Beacon and, some different things like that. Well, Benny, the program director of 90.3, came and gave a speech to us about the radio station. I was like, this is exactly, up my alley. Because before I came to college, back at home, I used to be a DJ at a skating ring. So I was like, this is exactly what, I've been doing since I was 16 years old. So I started doing it for a grade and then just started coming back, the next semester and then, just practicing because I fell in love with it like the first time I got there. So, it snowballed into something great,
Yeah, definitely. Now, where all have you, I know you said you DJ'd at a skate rink. And you also DJ at the radio. But I've also seen that you also are now doing events and stuff too. Yeah. What are some of the events that you've worked on? What has that been like compared to being in the radio station?
It's a very big difference, because if you're in a radio, you're basically just in a room by yourself most of the time, talking to a microphone. You don't really see the people that you're talking to, really, but I started probably about like the end of my sophomore year. Like I went back to Nashville and then like I started doing event hosting alongside one of my partners, DJ Juice, shout out. We started doing parties like around the city and then start doing bigger and bigger parties, and then once I started getting more traction doing that, I got put on hosting little things like the freshman pageant. I got the opportunity to go to Birmingham, Alabama last summer and host the Alabama Greek picnic. That was pretty cool. It was pretty fun, man. So, just trying to diversify my skill set and, just show that you can do pretty much anything, really, if you set your mind to it.
Now, I know you've had some heavy hitters on your Saturday night edutainment show. DJ Dave Phantom, who I met because of you. He's actually going to be a guest on the show sometime this season. Young Honcho, and come on now, the biggest artist. Come on, who is it?
Duke Deuce, man. You already know.
Duke Deuce, man. How did you land getting Duke Deuce down here to Knoxville, or up here to Knoxville from Atlanta, I should say?
It was a pretty interesting story. So he was making a song with one of my partners back home in Nashville, and so DJ Juice, like I mentioned earlier, was working real close with that. So I was in Cookout one night after a party, and I seen like a flyer that said he was supposed to be coming up here to do a concert, and I was like, well, this is like perfect right here, So I looked in, figure out the people who was promoting the show. Reached out to some people back home, like try to get in touch with like management and stuff. End up getting in touch with the right people, and it took about like a couple days to get everything set in stone. But hard work and made it happen. Run into a few bumps in the road, but like I'm very happy that it worked out the way it did.
No, that's really cool. Now, of course, that was all in 2019. 2020, who are some big names you think you'd like to bring into Knoxville? Can you share a little bit?
Well, I don't really know, man. That's a good question because, Duke Deuce, I wasn't really expecting that. I just, took a chance and walked out on faith. That's pretty much how I like to live my life, just taking risk and wherever God takes me, that's what's going to happen. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I have a lot of people I would love to bring onto the show, so I don't really have a answer for you right now, but I'll just stay tuned. You never know.
I feel that. Now, outside of being a DJ, I also know that you're an artist as well, correct? Can you tell us a little bit about your art and what influences you, if it's a person, if it's a film, day-to-day life?
Gotcha. Well, I've been around music ever since I was a little kid. You know, my uncles and my cousins were always like involved in like making music ever since I was a little boy. So I looked up to them growing up. And then I started making music like around my senior year of high school. It was funny because like all throughout high school, I always like joke around with my friends, like rapping at the table and stuff like that. And then I was working at Dairy Queen, man. This dude that I worked with, like, you know, like had like a couple mixtapes out, and he was like, you know, we're like washing dishes, like freestyling, you know what I'm saying, just BSing and stuff. He's like, hey man, you know what I'm saying, I got this song, you feel me, you should get in the studio and get on. And I was like, all right, whatever. And so he actually sent it to me. I was like, oh, he's serious. So my cousin had a little studio set up in his basement, and I went over there, recorded the verse to it, and like sent it back to dude. And I'm guessing he didn't like it because he like took me off the song, put someone completely else on it, like different. I was like, all right, well, it's not for me then. And my cousin was like, nah man, you know what I'm saying, forget him, you know, just keep on coming in and doing it. So for a whole summer, I'm like at my cousin's house like every night, you know, just making music and stuff. And then I got back to school, and like, you know what I'm saying, I'm playing songs to my friends in class, and they're just all like, dude, you need to, you know, put this out. So I set up a SoundCloud account, started, you know, putting out music, and then everybody around, you know, my school and like the city was like liking it. So I was like, all right, cool, you know what I'm saying, this is, you know, pretty cool. So I'm gonna keep on doing it. And then just like the more I just started going to the studio and just making music, the more I fell in love with doing it, you know. So like, I guess like what influences me is just like, you know, just the love and passion I have for making music and, you know, music itself. And, you know, I make music for like the underdogs, you feel me, who everybody doubts, but, you know what I'm saying, always comes out on top, you feel me. So it's like I do it kind of like, not to say I have something to prove, but, you know what I'm saying, just to show people that, you know, I can do it. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's really cool. It's always good to have a good support base. And right. I'm going to tell you that moment where you go from not knowing if people are going to like it to vibing with your stuff, like that's a humbling feeling. It really is. That's awesome. Now, I know you're currently a full-time student here at UT. How much longer do you have until you graduate? And do you think you'll stick around the area, or do you think you'll go elsewhere, especially with the DJing gig?
Well, I'm set to graduate in December of 2020, so I got just one more semester left. After I really want to move to Atlanta after I graduate, and, you know what I'm saying, to start getting established in that scene out there, because I feel like that's one of the, as far as the South is concerned, like the largest city as far as entertainment is. And so I really want to move out there and, you know what I mean, start developing myself professionally and expanding my network. And yeah.
I feel that. Now, I know that there is a growing market here in Knoxville and just East Tennessee in general as far as music, and not just hip-hop, but pop, country, folk, electronica. What is some advice you would give to people that really want to get their stuff on radio? Because sometimes I know it can be difficult trying to figure out how to get airplay. What are some things that you would recommend people to consider if they want to get on the radio?
First of all, quality is everything. You know, you can always have a good song, but if it's like not mastered or engineered well, it's not going to sound good, you know, on the radio or in people's cars and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So quality is everything, you know what I mean? And then if you are confident in your music, it's going to speak for yourself, like, you know, how you present it and, you know, how it sounds, you know, because you can always tell between someone who just recorded it on their phone, like on the way to work or something like that, someone who actually put time and effort into making it, you know. And there's like millions of musicians in the world, you know what I mean? So it's like you always got to do something like set yourself apart from everyone, because it's very hard to get lost in the shuffle out here, you know what I mean? Even myself, I've dealt, you know, with like how I, you know, get my song played on like a bigger radio station with like all these other rappers, you know what I mean? So you got to like find a way to just set yourself apart from everybody and just make sure the quality is there, you know what I'm saying? Because that's those are two big things that, you know, that catches people's attention.
I feel that. I definitely agree with the whole quality thing, because I have met a lot of people and some of them will be like, I'm willing to invest $200 or $300 into studio time and know that they're getting their stuff engineered. But other people get hit with that price and they're like, oh, well, I can go out and bootleg the software and do it myself. Right. You can. But, you know, these people usually have been doing music, audio engineering for years. So you can try and watch some YouTube tutorials and wing it, but trust the professionals. Right. Who are some of the artists you're listening to right now?
Moneybagg just dropped a couple days ago, so you know what I'm saying, I'm bumping him, but like some new people I'm getting into, Lil Soulja He's from Birmingham. I like him a lot. Young Dolph. He's like super motivating, man. Like if he ever comes across this video, man, I want to work with you, Dolph. Hit your man's up, man. He's like one of the most motivating people out there. Glock, ASAP Rocky's always been one of my all-time favorites.
His visuals are like
Exactly, it's insane, man. But I listen to music literally like all day, every day. Lil Keed, I just got into him. Lil Baby is one of my favorites too. So it's like I can go on all day about listening to music. Man, I listen to so many people.
Yeah, I like Lil Baby. And I know a lot of people always get confused with Lil Baby and Da Baby.
Right.
Both are great artists, but I really like the sound coming out of Atlanta. I also, on that note, I do think Knoxville has the potential to be the next Atlanta. I feel like there's a lot of rising hip-hop artists in this area. I just think that Knoxville is not at that point yet to where they're ready to accept it like Atlanta is.
Oh, most definitely. I think it's like Tennessee as a whole, I feel like has something going on in music. Memphis, of course, is as far as Tennessee is concerned, the mecca for music right now. You feel me? Because like it's pretty much has the most influence over rap as a whole.
Yeah.
Music from Memphis. I was just in Memphis last weekend, and I can tell you that like they definitely got some good stuff going on. Nashville, my hometown, is like one of them cities that is like definitely popping right now. And we just need that one breakout artist to just open the floodgates for everybody, man. Like 2 Live Bree has definitely been doing his thing. You know, he got the song with Duke Deuce. He just dropped his album. He's like doing crazy things in the city right now. You also got Lil Crimson and Lotus Music, and you know what I'm saying, just artists is like it's so many artists out in Nashville that are just doing their thing, you feel me? And it's just like, it's just takes that one person. And Knoxville, like you said, also has their fair share of artists as well, man, like Honcho, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Honcho. There's so many people out here like in this state that are just doing great things, man, so it's not a matter of if, it's when.
That's exactly right. And I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of artists you've named already that I don't know, and now I really want to go check them out.
10 out of 10 recommend.
All right. Now, one of the last few questions I like to ask is social media. What are your handles? Also, where can people find your music, and how can they book you for gigs?
Well, I do most of everything on Instagram. You can find me on the gram at RealYSN. That's RealYSN. You can find all my music on all platforms. YSN, $, if you want to be technical. Code Red 4 is my most recent project. It's on all major platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play. Anything you want to use, go check this out, man. If you want to book me for a show, all you gotta do is contact me at therealysn@gmail.com with all your booking inquiries, or just shoot me a DM on the gram. One of the two, both works very fine, but hit me up, man. I do everything. If you need a host, DJ, feature, you want somebody to perform at your birthday party, man, like I do it all. I'm jack of all trades. Hit me up.
I feel that. And the very last question I will ask you is, if you could be any animal, what would it be and why?
That's a great question, man. That's a great question. I always thought tigers were pretty cool. You don't see too many people messing with tigers. So I think I would be a tiger.
I dig it. Well, Vol Nation, this is all the time we have for this week's episode. Tune in for next week.